Wiim.
Yeah. That's my tagline. I do that before everything.
All right, man. Do your thing. Listen, man, I just got through listening to a lot of your music, and I'm turned on. Not in that way, but, you know,
Really?
I'm really liking it, man. So talk about where you're out of.
I'm out of Orange County, California, 714, West Coast, all that. I was born in Anaheim. I was living in Santa Ana, Tustin area, and we just made the move to Tulsa. So it's been cool. It's been a journey for real.
Yeah. So why Tulsa?
Cannabis industry, man. This right here, this green stuff.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here, because California has been legal for so long, and it's a whole lot of regulations, and it's just it's kind of burnt out, to be honest with you. It's just so normal. It's kind of like a little bit harder to make money. And I just wanted a break, you know. I've been born and raised in California, and it's just so fast paced and so like, I don't want to say like anxiety driven, but it's so wound up tight. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just needed a change of pace. So we've been out here for 6 months already, actually, and we just signed another 6-month lease. And we'll see where it takes us after that. We might stay, we might go back, we might go somewhere else, but we in Tulsa for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to talk about a little bit of your work, one of your videos I noticed had almost like 1 million views on it.
Yeah. Purple. It was purple.
Yeah, that's a good one too, man.
Thank you.
How old is that? That's a little bit older though, isn't it?
So yeah. We in 2022 now. Gosh.
I know, man.
And that one released in 2018, but I probably recorded it in 2016, 2017, and then mixed it and then released it in 2018. But it didn't really start gaining traction until 2020.
Okay.
I believe deep down it was complete luck. I think. Because of the song title name. It was called Purple. Mm-hmm. So it was crazy when 2020 happened. COVID just took the whole world, you know, by storm. And there was like these Instagram stories. People were just scratching and clawing, trying to find, you know, stuff to do because we're inside and we're super bored. And there was this thing where it was like a quarantine calendar where it was like day 1, tag a song that reminds you of your best friend. Day 2, tag a song that reminds you of so-and-so, whatever. Yeah. Day 3, I don't know what day it was, but it said, tag a song that reminds you of your favorite color.
Oh, wow.
And it just caught. I guess a lot of people like the color purple.
Yeah.
So they're looking up purple. And there's a lot of other songs called Purple this, Purple that, and even just Purple. I'm not the only one that has it, but I guess they scrolled through and seen mine, and it pushed it to like the number 1 on that search. So it started, I started noticing it on Instagram because I post like little snippets like, oh, this week's drop, whatever. And it was like 2 years ago, and that post kept getting likes and comments, and it pushed it back to the top. I'm like, what's going on, you know? And then I look on SoundCloud, and it's at the top. I look at Spotify, it's on the top. And I call my producer, ᴄᴏ, shout out ᴄᴏ. He makes 99% of my beats, known him since elementary school. And I call him, and I'm like, yo, bro. It's not at 2K anymore. You see, Purple is at the top of everything, and it was at like 10K. Next day, it was at 20K. Next week, it was at 50K. And then we're like, yo, we're going to pop a bottle at 100K for sure. And we ended up going to Vegas, me and her, and it got to like 100K, 101K, and I'm like, bro, we're not even together for this. But then we come back, and it's at 250K, and right now it's at like 800-something K. So I'm like, you know what? We're just going to wait for $1 million. So once it gets to $1 million, we definitely gonna pop that bottle. Man,
it's gonna hit quick too.
Yeah,
I bet.
How long you been in have you been in Oklahoma?
Man, it's been a journey. Like I said, this time around we've been here for 6 months. Okay. We just signed another 6-month lease, so it'll probably be a year total, maybe more. I don't know if we're gonna stay or not, but I like it here. I definitely like it here.
You said you're from California, so have you seen a lot of differences between like the cannabis industry there in California as opposed to here in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it reminds me of California like 10 years ago. I'm 27 now. I was in high school. I was like 16, 17 years old when they first made it medical, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was going into like dispensaries and all that for the first time, and you had to get a card, you know? And it's been so long since I've seen that, you know, because it went recreational, and it's everywhere now. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's actually less of them now. There's actually more, like you look around, there's actually more dispensaries out here now because it's booming. It's new and there's less regulations to my knowledge, right? But yeah, it just reminds me of California 10 years ago, because over there, all the dispensaries, they look like weed museums. You know what I'm saying? They're not like, there's no like mom and pop shops anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But over here, you get everything from the big ones to the mom and pop shops that might be here today, gone tomorrow. It's a lot more diverse out here, and I hope it stays like that, because I see a lot of people kind of complaining like, oh, if it goes recreational, it's gonna, you know, shuffle out all the other ones, and that's just how it is. It's going, the market's like, it's going down as far as prices, but yeah, that's the main difference. Just kind of gives me a flashback, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, whenever you started, you know, with your music and everything, you know, you were talking about back in the scene, you know, back in Orange County. Mm-hmm. Was that, you know, were you into like more of a cannabis audience then too, or?
I mean, I've been smoking weed since I was like 14 years old.
Okay.
So just kind of naturally I gravitated towards that, and I talk about what I really do.
Right.
So I would talk about it in songs, so therefore people that smoke like to listen to my music too.
Right.
But it wasn't anything that was on purpose. It was just kind of
Gotcha.
organic. It just happened like that.
So you're not riding the wave of cannabis. You're actually involving that in your songs, and it's just incorporated. It's part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's in my DNA, I guess.
I get it, man. I got you. Some of your songs, though, you know, like you said earlier, whenever you first came in, they're different. They're diverse, you know, from one song to the other. Mm-hmm. You kind of talked about how it was like a little bit bipolar. Talk about that a little bit.
I actually got a song called Bipolar too. That's one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like I have like layers to myself. I'm not very like one-dimensional. So sometimes, you know, I feel like this is deeply, you know, sad, and I want to touch on that. And the goal with that is to reach people that also feel that way, so they don't feel like they're alone or by themselves.
Right.
That's kind of my thing with that. But then there'll be times where I go through like a phase where I'm going out a lot. I'm doing a lot of pop-ups. I'm doing a lot of shows, and I probably end up drinking more during that phase, maybe that week or that month or whatever. And I'll be in that phase where I'm like, man, I want to cater to this. You know, this is what I feel like. Let me embody this.
Right.
You know, because that's really how I'm feeling
at
that time. And then there's the stoner jams too. And then there's like the ones where I'm like super mad, maybe even a little bit petty or salty over something that happened.
Right.
You know, and you got that vibe, that kind of like that grungy energy. But it really just depends on what ᴄᴏ sends me to, because he be making beats like crazy. But whatever he sends me, like that, I move off of that. There's times where I'm not even feeling like sad or whatever, and he'll send me a beat, and it like triggers something that happened even like 5 years ago, and I'm like, dude, this beat like reminds me of that era of my life, or that month, or that little period. So I'll touch on that. But I don't know. I don't really try to be anything. It just kind of just comes out like this or like that. I'm kind of like a spectrum, I guess.
Okay. Gotcha. Sort of a conduit.
Yeah.
A conduit of emotional lyrics.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, man. That's a very interesting process there. How long, you know, do you take a long time to write a song?
Man, that's also a spectrum. So usually if it's like a feature, like I'll go in and I'm like, okay, cool, let me hear your hook or whatever. I'll embody it pretty fast, you know, and I'll write it like maybe like 15, 20 minutes.
Really?
Because I like to write it, and I like to really, really make sure there's no struggle bars in there. I try to make sure there's no filler, and make sure it's just all muscle when I'm writing.
Okay.
But that's just a collab. If it's my song, I take way longer on my songs. But the hook is what comes first. The hook has to write itself within probably like 2 to 3 minutes of me hearing the beat, or I get over it and I feel like I'm trying. I feel like I'm like forcing. So usually I'll get up on the mic as soon as I hear the beat, and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I can groove to this one. Like this triggers me in some kind of way, and I'll just get up there and write it in my head and on the mic, and I'll kind of like scat the melodies out and stuff. And from there, I just get more specific with it But within the first couple minutes, that's when I get the melody and the idea and the topic, and then from there, it just kind of drips down into the actual words of it. And then after that, I'll write the verses. There's some songs though that I'll write the hook, and then I can't write the verses right there for some reason, and I'll wait a month, 6 months, a year sometimes. And I go back to it. I'm like, okay, cool. For some reason, I'm tapped back into that. I don't know what it is. It's something above me, but it just gets reconnected.
That's hard to do. That's got to be hard to do with that much time lapse in between there. I can just imagine. I mean, me myself, I'd almost have to forget about it and move on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. So once I do forget about it, then if it comes back, then it comes back, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I don't really like to force anything.
Okay.
That's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Man, I really like that. I like how you're just accepting the universe and how it's like sending you that.
I have to, because like you said, it makes me kind of like knowing that there's so many unfinished songs in the vault. Yeah. And I'm like, should I get a feature on it, or should I try and tap back into it? But I don't like to try. I just wait for it to come back, and when it does, it does. Sometimes I'll even find another beat, and I'll start singing an old hook I had, and I'll put it on this beat. I'm like, good thing I didn't release that, because it goes way better on this one. Yeah. And then that'll trigger a whole nother, I guess, layer of the spectrum, and then I'll just tap back into it and just do it.
What kind of shows have you been playing lately? Big ones?
Yeah, my main thing was the Observatory in Orange County. Yeah. And the Novo in downtown LA. But ever since COVID, man, it totally like screwed me off, because they're so strict in California about the masks and all the COVID restrictions, man. Like, it's so hard to move around, and it's unless you have a vaccination, which I don't yet, because my own reasons, I'm just not ready to do it yet. I mean, they've had 4 of them, and like they're saying, oh, this one works. Oh, it doesn't work. This one works. No, it doesn't work. This one works. So I don't know. I'm going to wait until I feel like solid. But it really just cock blocked me, bro. It really did. Okay.
But you are playing some here locally now.
Yeah. So, this is actually my first big show. The Cat 415 Farm Fest.
Okay, and that's this weekend.
That is this weekend, yeah. This Saturday and this Sunday. I'm gonna try and make both days, just so I can mingle and get in with the community and see what's up. But I'm performing on Sunday, the 17th.
Okay, and where is that?
Ponca City.
City.
Never been there, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect. So
they've got an airport there. I'm flying to Ponca City from ᴄᴛᴏ tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. That's wait, from here?
Yeah. Is that a 20-minute flight?
I was gonna say, bro.
15-minute flight.
Damn.
So
that's crazy.
It's not. Man. I got a really good friend of mine and a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show, a good friend of Herbage. It's Daniel with the Cowboy Cup. Wants to go to lunch tomorrow in Ponca City at the airport. So.
Oh, sweet.
And he's got a little bitty plane. It'll be fun.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's gangster, bro.
No, it's not. I'm gonna be scared.
For real, I've never been on a small plane. Never in my life.
Make sure you pack a good carry-on.
Yeah, for sure.
Just watch an episode of something. You'll be there.
There you go, man. Like half an episode.
Yeah.
So all right, okay. So that's on the 17th at 7:00. Farm Fest, Cat 45 in Ponca City.
Yeah, I'm on at 7 to 7:30, so be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
What other artists are going to be there, do you know?
There's man, I'm so bad with names, but from what I remember,
Kid Lennon, is he going to be out there?
I recognize that name.
Yeah.
I think he's on it. I know Rod Marley. I think I recognize that one. Chris Webby, who I've actually listened to like way back, so it's cool to see like his name again and even be opening with him and all that, so it'd be cool to meet him. Lee DeWise, which he won American Idol. I'm not sure what season it was. I didn't even know that. Like, no disrespect, I didn't recognize the name, and then someone told me that, And I was surprised I didn't know the name because me and my mom and the rest of my family grew up watching American Idol.
Okay.
But I don't know what season we cut it off at. I'm pretty sure back when it was like no longer Simon and Randy and Paula. And they started switching it up. And
I hate to admit it, but I used to watch that show too.
Dude, I don't know what it was, but it was like nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah, man.
I think everybody at one time when American Idol came out, like it was the biggest show ever. Like if you weren't watching it.
That, and what was the other one with the chairs?
The Voice?
Oh, The Voice, where they spin around?
Yeah.
Or not? Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's The Voice.
Yeah.
I could sound dumb right now, but
yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. I like that one too.
Yeah, man. That's cool. So there's going to be a lot of people out there. We've been seeing a lot of buzz online about this event itself. So we know that it's going to be popular. You're going to have a good time.
Dude, I'm excited. I love cannabis events too because it's so warm and it's so inviting.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than the club.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, because I've done some cannabis events too at like Secret Sesh in LA and all that. And it's different. It's a lot different. Even at the observatory, they have different crowds. Like my first observatory show, I opened for Currency, who's known to be like a smooth stoner rapper. And I brought all my bangers just thinking like, this is my first big show out here. Let me just bring the bangers. And they were just staring at me like just stoned, like stoned in amazement, hopefully. But they were just stoned, but everyone's smiling, It's a good vibe. It's definitely different, but a good vibe for sure.
And it's funny because a lot of times it doesn't even, it does matter what style of music, what genre of music is playing, but like for the most part, every event that I go to that is cannabis related is like that. I'm telling you, man, like rock bands will come out and say that same thing. Rappers will come out and say the same. Everybody says the same thing. It's like, man, this is nice. Or even security. Whenever we hire security to come in here or any parties that we're involved with, they're all like, man, hell yeah, we want to go there. There's never any issue.
That's the difference between weed and alcohol, in my opinion. It's literally that. You know what I'm saying?
That's one. For sure.
You just got to know what to expect, though. I remember there was a video of Lil Wayne, like, throwing the mic because he came through with his bangers to, like, a High Times event. And he's like, why y'all motherfuckers ain't jumping? Like, this is whack. Don't ever book me for this again. He dropped the mic and left. But
he's not used to that.
He's not used to it. Yeah. He's a superstar, bro.
He's a superstar.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, man, whenever you get to be a superstar,
I won't forget.
Yeah, you won't forget. You'll be used to it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I've been doing this for so long. I feel like the only thing that's going to change is like my bank account because I don't think anything's going to change,
Good. You shouldn't. Do you remember the first moment or instant that you realized that this is what you wanted to do with your life?
It was kind of like, I'm trying to remember if there was like a defining moment. There had to have been, right? Because I don't choose this for nothing.
Yeah, man. Poetically, you got to at least make something up. No, I'm just kidding.
So it was
Were
January 14th.
Yeah. Were you a kid whenever you
so
discovered?
I've always loved music. I've always loved hip-hop. I've always loved melodies, too.
Okay.
I first started writing, like creating my own music, though. I can say this. I was about 15, and my brother Jermaine, shout out Jermaine, he sent me a mic from overseas. He was in the military for 10 years, and he was a producer, and he actually gave up producing to go there. So he's like, yo, do with this what I didn't. So he kind of passed it down to me and gave me a mic, gave me a whole setup. Didn't even know how to use it. I was 15 years old, and I already loved music. I was already writing in a notebook, probably from like 13, 14, to be honest. Started like around high school. And just started recording myself and then watching YouTube videos. Graduated from YouTube University with the engineering skills. And it was just a slow growth. It was a slow burn. And that's how I know it's not gonna just like fade away.
Yeah, not a flash.
Yeah.
So when you started this, you started in like on YouTube, like you just worked your way up from there?
Yeah, well that's where I started learning how to record myself because I didn't really have too much money. And I had the mic, so I'm like, okay, let me at least apply myself. Yeah. What was the question again? That joint got me, bro.
Like
that joint got me.
YouTube.
Yeah. So I started releasing. Yeah. If you go on my YouTube, like, please don't scroll all the way back because there's so many videos on there.
Yeah.
That are like not embarrassing, but I was underdeveloped. And but I keep them up for that reason, because it's milestones, you know, and it's sometimes you forget how to appreciate where you are, and when you look back, you really see it, you know. I kind of look at it as like, if you like, let's just say you have like a little nephew, right, and you grow up with him and you see him from a baby all the way to age, let's say like 10, you don't really see the growth, but if you see him like once a year, you're like, damn, you got so big.
Yeah, man.
It's like that when you look at yourself through like that lens, you know what I mean?
I like that. That's a good way to
stay grateful.
I absolutely can relate to that, because like I mean, you look at stuff that you posted, you know, 15, 16 years ago, when you're just like, this is it right here, and then you look what you've created now, and you're like, things were what I expected back then.
But then at some point you're like, screw it, you know what I mean? And then you leave it up there and you start making fun of it, or you actually start liking it. And it's like, look what I did in college, or you know what I mean?
Have you ever thought about any of the stuff that you made back then possibly redoing? Is there stuff
I've actually done it before.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of those songs that you heard right now too, like, I'm still getting better at engineering and upgrading the gear and all that stuff. So sometimes I'm like, damn, like that was like, I thought that was like 10 out of 10 quality. But now I feel like I know, like I unlocked a whole nother realm that I didn't know that I didn't know. And now I know that I don't know. So I'm like, damn, bro, like, and I start mastering it again and I'm like, damn. I wish I could keep the views on it and just swap the file for the new one, but it don't work like that. So
it's like, man, wait a second, I'm better than that. Watch, you know. It's like, you wanna.
But that's engineering. But writing
that's
and
cool.
writing and stuff. Sometimes, I do like to, like hear an old one, and I'm like, okay, there's not that many views. It's way back there, but the concept was way ahead of its time. Yeah. You know, maybe I'll change a couple bars and make it more modern or whatever. But I recycle. I
remember you saying
eco-friendly.
I remember you saying creatively earlier you like to take time with your songs. So some songs you say can take up to 6 months, like even longer. And now going back and look at that's years. I'm like, imagine what you could do. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the beauty of like all the recording technology that we have. You know, you could record something now and then 10 years from now record something else, and it sounds like it's the same session. It is the same session, but it was just a different time, and you just glue them together magically. You know what I'm saying? We weren't able to do that before, like the vinyl, like way back before my time, but I've studied the history of it. And back with like the cassette tapes, you could only record like 2 things at once, you know, like the vocalist and then like the rest of it. There was no stems, you know, it was just all recording at once. And then eventually they did, you know, they upgraded 4-track, 12-track, and now it's like as many tracks as you want. You know, it's insane.
So like right now with your music and stuff, like are you currently right now, are you writing new stuff that's been taking a minute? Is there stuff that's out there that you've been working on, like what you've been saying?
So I'm always writing. I will always write, like no matter what, even if we got neighbors, huh? What's up, man?
It's Ghost. We're good.
It's an old building, man.
For real. Yeah, man. I had to deal with that. We just moved to the 2nd floor of our apartment, so we ain't got to deal with that no more. So, damn, I lost the question again. Am I working on stuff now? Yes, I'm always working on something. You know, it's therapy for me. Without music, I don't know where I would put everything. I feel like I would bottle it up, and I don't know where I would release it, but that's where I release it, you know?
How awesome is that you found something that you really love to do and you can do it, and it's also your release. I mean, you know, it's so cool for your life-work balance, you know? Yeah,
it is, man. It keeps me level-headed. It definitely keeps me level-headed.
Do you keep a notebook on you all the time?
I graduated from the notebook a long time ago. I do have all my old ones though, like the old composition notebooks, like the black and white, like spots on it. You know, like the typical one. Yeah. So you know the composition ones. I still have all my old ones. But no, I have it in my notes, and I've had this phone for such a long time. Like I can literally look up my lyrics from yesterday, all the way back to maybe like 20, I don't even know, 2010 maybe. Yeah, it's cool. But I write digitally now, so. Yeah,
there you go.
Would you say, like, with your time here, too, in Oklahoma, how you've seen cannabis here compared to California, has it inspired you to help you write better, like, other stuff like that you wouldn't have ever thought you'd be writing?
Just being in a different environment has done that.
Okay.
Definitely has. It's a different pace out here in Tulsa, and it's more diverse too. The first thing I notice is like there's a lot more black people in Tulsa than there is in Orange County. In Orange County, it's like you have a lot of Hispanics. It's like mostly Hispanics, but then you have like you go south and you have like the more wealthy, more Caucasian areas. And then you go to like Garden Grove and there's like a bunch of like Asians and like Middle Easterns and stuff like the Indians. And same with like Irvine too. But being out here, it's more literally speaking black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot more black and white out here. And just the air smells different. The gas prices are amazing compared to $6-7 a gallon, you know, out there in California.
Yeah. Okay, could you imagine those gas prices here right now? Like,
oh my goodness, no, I can't. I don't want to.
I don't either. He wouldn't have been able to make it for the podcast.
Yeah, for real.
You'd have to Zoom.
Yeah, I'd have to do the Zoom. I hate doing Zooms. I'd rather be here in person and connect with y'all.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to come in. Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating always meeting new people, and especially, you know, I used to live right up above Orange County. I mean, like right there on the coast, just right there in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm very familiar with that area of where you're from.
Yeah.
And it's really cool it's just such a small world, man.
Yeah.
Whenever I lived out there, I met so many people from Oklahoma and Texas. It was unreal.
And now they're all back here in Oklahoma.
Dude, that is true. Every time I come out here, I meet people from California, Colorado, Oregon. Like they're coming from all over, coming to Oklahoma. Yeah. And I think the green rush has a lot to do with it. I really do.
I mean, years ago they tried to call it the Great Remigration.
Everyone coming back here?
Yeah. But I think it's really about to happen, the Great Remigration, because people are realizing, I mean, man, like you said, there's some messed up things out there on the West Coast right now, politically or whatever, however your thoughts are, your views. But a lot of people are disagreeing with what's going on. Yeah. And they're coming to Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah. You know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons. You can't even get a job at most places without a vaccination. And it's more than just that. There's a lot of stuff where you got to pick a side.
I'm not talking about just that. Yeah. I'm talking about like just the buildup overall of whatever it is that's going on there. So
I feel like Oklahoma was some kind, like I kind of like to compare it kind of to the Oklahoma land rush, because like when cannabis became medicinal here, a lot of people came to this state for opportunity.
Well, sure, yeah.
And especially with music and everything. Like.
Well, I mean, the thing is like what I love about this atmosphere and what you are getting from this, you as an artist are getting from this, is an actual place where you are no longer putting yourself, your content, all the stuff on a shelf somewhere. You actually have an audience, and that audience is here, and they want you. You know what I mean? They love your music. I love your music. It's great.
Thank you.
But see, what I'm trying to say is like it's opened up this whole new avenue for artists. I believe that's my point of view. I mean, would you say so?
I would definitely agree with that. Okay. There's actually a whole like pie chart of reasons why I came here. And that was definitely on the pros list versus the cons. Is like there's an untapped music lane that's there. Yeah. That's not why. Like I'm not riding the wave of it or anything, but that was one of the reasons, because it was really hard to leave California, being born and raised there. And like I walk around, I see people I know or people that know me all the time, you know, and it feels good. It's very like reassuring and stuff. But I don't know. You gotta venture off into the untouched territory, and I feel like you definitely gotta end up somewhere. If you're me, you gotta end up somewhere where there's eyes, at least, you know. Yeah. And I feel like Oklahoma really has that, and it's on an upward trajectory, I would say, as well. Yeah, like you said, people are coming here, and the prices are probably going to be on an upward trajectory as well. But there's a lot more people talking about it now than I would say a couple years ago.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
100%.
Man, again, thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
come by anytime, man.
Thanks for having
seriously, we'd love to have you in. Next time you get some more music, whatever, come on by.
No doubt. I'll bring my mic too. It looks just like this one.
There you go.
Yeah. What is this one? Do you know what this is?
I'm not sure. It's one that picks up sound.
Yeah, it does it very well. I like it, bro. I'm a nerd now for the hardware. So.
Yeah, I got you, man.
So yeah, but thank you, man.
I think I bought that 2-3 years ago, hoping that we'd be using it for a situation like this.
Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are, man.
3 years later. Sometimes 3 years, like, I don't know, waves come in threes. Something about 3 years later, it just, I don't know, it connects. It hits.
Yeah, man. There's something about threes. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, everybody, come out. That's this weekend in Ponca City.
Ponca City.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. Well, it's both Saturday and Sunday.
It's all day, but I'm performing at 7, so pull up at 7.
Yeah.
Well, actually, pull up earlier. I'm going to try and pull up earlier and see all the other artists' sets. And, see what all these other artists are about, too, because I heard, like, a lot of snippets, and they all seem pretty talented. Yeah. So I would love to support.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's the Cat.
415.
Cat 415.
Farm Fest. It took me, I had to do, like, a promo video for it, too. And I messed up the line a couple times. I was like, Cat 420. Wait, 415.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it 415? They said it's better to be 5 minutes early to everything. So
there you go, man.
So I'm like, all right,
better be 5. I like that. Okay,
That's good.
All right, man. We'll see you next time.
Hell yeah, thank you. Yeah.